we're going to talk about cave springs in the Needles District of Canyonlands and also Roadside Ruin. Cave Springs is a little over a half mile, 0.6 is what the map says. It's a really awesome hike. There's some archaeology around. There's a cowboy camp and also some pictographs. So Native Americans created rock art, really amazing, beautiful things. Pictographs are painted onto the wall using different kinds of paints made from natural materials that they would find in the area, and they would use those to symbolically represent the really great, interesting cultural beliefs they had about the world around them. At Cave Spring, there's a really cool cowboy camp there. They have it behind some fences though, so you can't get right up to it, but it's understandable because I can imagine that I've got some sticky fingers that go into the park. But it kind of ruins the experience for everybody else when we have dishonest people, but that's okay. The Park Service has to do what they need to do to protect that archaeological site they have up there. You're hiking Cave Springs, the panoramic views are outstanding, so you have to scramble up 2 ladders to get to the top of the hike, and it's totally worth it because you're on top of this slick rock and you can do a 360 all the way around and see just an incredible view of the Needles District of Canyonlands. Cast was kind of rainy, so it was really beautiful. The contrast of the clouds and the red rock and the vastness in between where you were standing and the next geological feature in the distance. It was pretty incredible. I would highly recommend hiking Cave Springs. I was a little disappointed with Roadside Ruin. It's 0.3 miles and it's a really pretty hike. When we were there, it had just rained, so there was some really beautiful wildflowers that were blooming. It's really, really short, and we were lucky enough to be the only people on the hike. But when we finally arrived at the granary, there was no interpretation. It was a beautiful granary, and you could get kind of close up to it. There was also a fence there to protect the archaeological site, but I would have appreciated some interpretation, put it in context. You know, when was it built? What was found with it? Who do they think built it? What are some proposed hypotheses for why they built the granary, where they built it? I think a lot of really neat information could be drawn from the interpretation of the archaeology, and it just wasn't there, so it was kind of like, oh, cool, granary, but it was kind of meaningless without the context. But other than that, it was just a really cool little tiny hike. Just a loop hike, so it was pretty easy. If you had a kid that was excited about archaeology, that would be a really easy, fun, short hike to take them on. Let's try that again.